Hey everyone, this is Daryl, aka the D from the Simply Incredible podcast. Today we'll do something a little different, not comics, not pop vinyls, not action figures, baseball nicknames. Recently I don't know what made me think about this, but it seems like in the past, baseball players had great nicknames. And it seems like it's kind of fallen out in the last, I don't know, decade or so. That so many players, it's just not there anymore. And growing up, there were so many great nicknames for me, like Dr. K, Dwight Gooden, the Rocket, Roger Clemens, Rhino, Ryan Sandberg, Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly, and all these great nicknames growing up. So I decided to kind of do my all-time baseball team of nicknames, but these players had to be good too. And when I say good, I would say I think everybody is Hall of Famers. I think I went all Hall of Famers. So I mean, there's other guys with great nicknames. One guy on that I actually have written down, not in the Hall of Fame, but was Louisiana Lightning. Ron Guidry. Growing up, that was a great nickname, and he played for the Yankees, which I'm not a Yankees fan, so he's off the list. But I'm just going to give my list, and I would love for you guys to comment, or better yet, make videos of it too, and of your favorites, favorite nickname players, and like a team as well. So, in a position that was really the hardest for me was outfield, because outfield is good gracious, great nicknames all throughout baseball history. But here we go. I'm gonna start out with catcher, Yogi Berra. Yeah, what was his first name? Dale. I think his first name was Dale Yogi Berra. His name Yogi was not his actual name, but Yogi Berra, such a great player. And again, I'm not a Yankees fan, but man, what a legend at catcher. So Yogi Berra. First base. First base is also pretty difficult as well. I went with Lou Gehrig. That's hard to argue with him. The Iron Horse was his nickname, and that was because before Cal Ripken, he had the record for most consecutive games played that people thought would never even come close to being broken. And I'm gonna give you a couple more than I had for first base. Frank Thomas, the Big Hurt, which I always loved that nickname growing up. And when I was really, really young, Willie Stargell for the Pittsburgh Pirates, his nickname was Pops. He was kind of like the old man on the team when they won the World Series, and that was awesome nickname. And one guy that not nowhere near Hall of Fame, but he played for my Mets. But before that, he played for the Montreal Expos. His name was Rusty Staub. Now, Rusty was a nickname for him, and I can't remember what his real name was. But in Montreal, in French-speaking Montreal, his nickname was Le Grand Orange. Supposedly that means big red, but I'm pretty sure that means big orange because he had like this really bright hair when he was young. So I always thought that was a great nickname. Let's see where we at. Second base, another kind of tough position, but I went with Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. It's hard to argue with him. Always had this great demeanor. Every time he went onto the baseball field, the rumor was that he's always like, man, let's play two today. Let's play two. And in Chicago back then, they didn't have lights. It was kind of hard to play too. But Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks. Let's see, who else did I have there? Well, one of the guys named the Mechanical Man, Charlie Gehringer. Way, way, way back in the early 1900s, he was one of the all-time greats at second base. People don't really have a clue who he is now, but way back he was one of the best to ever play the position. So I went with him there. Third base was kind of tough. I had Pie Harold Trainer, but I didn't go with him. Pie Trainer, it's a great nickname from way, way back in the day. But I went with Brooks Robinson, and his nickname was way too long. The Human Vacuum Cleaner. Of how good he was at third base, like Manny Machado is now in Baltimore. I mean, the hot corner, he just dominated on defense at third base, just like Manny Machado does now. So I'm with Brooksy on that one. Another one I had in mind was the Penguin, Ron Say. I remember him back when he played for the Cubs, and before that he played for the Dodgers, and I think he played for some more teams after that. But those are two teams I really remember him playing for. Shortstop, I went with the Wizard, Ozzie Smith. I got him for his defense. He's not going to hit a lot of home runs, but I still remember he hit that one home run. Was it in the playoffs way back in like '85 or something like that? That gave the Cardinals a big win. But his defense was amazing. So the Wizard, Ozzie Smith. Let's see, outfield. Again, outfield by far the toughest positions. I just picked three outfielders. It didn't matter if it was right, left, or center, just three. Started out with Babe Ruth. You got to go with Babe Ruth. For those who don't know, his actual name was George Herman Ruth. So a lot of people don't even know that. Everybody just thinks, oh, it's just Babe Ruth. But yeah, what can you say? It's Babe Ruth. My next one was Willie Mays, the Say Hey Kid. When he played for the Giants, one of the all-time greats. And the Say Hey Kid, great nickname. And third, so many people I could have picked. I went with Ted Williams, the Splendid Splinter. Great name, great nickname. Now I'm gonna give you a few that I didn't have in the outfield, and this is, I mean, just an all-time legendary list as well. Hammering Hank Aaron, and for me, still considered the all-time home run king, even though Barry Bonds has the record, which I don't think Barry Bonds had a nickname, which is really weird to me. Joltin' Joe DiMaggio. I want to put him on here because, back in the day, they actually had a song about him. I mean, that's pretty impressive to have a song named after you. Joltin' Joe DiMaggio. I mean, that's awesome. Duke Snyder, which I cannot think of his first name either. The Kid, Ken Griffey Jr., Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, and the Georgia Peach, Ty Cobb. And there's a long list of more outfielders that you could put on here. But, let me know what you guys think on as well. Then I have a left-handed pitcher, a right-handed pitcher, and a closer. And then I picked a utility player as well. A left-handed pitcher, again, tough to decide, but I went with Randy Johnson, the Big Unit. That was a great nickname growing up, the Big Unit. He was 6'10". By the time he let the ball go, he was like 50 feet from home plate instead of 60 feet 6 inches. By the time he let the ball go, okay, probably not quite that close, probably about 55 feet by the time he released the ball, and he threw so hard it's just ridiculous. My right-handed pitcher, I was going to go with Nolan Ryan, the Ryan Express, but I went with the Big Train, Walter Johnson. Thought that was a great nickname. But another one I really could have picked there, and Cy Young. Dude, he's got an award named after him for the last, 70 years? And still has the record for probably maybe the most unbreakable record in sports. I think he had 511 career wins. I think the closest anybody's getting now is like mid 300s. Roger Clemens, I think he had like 300 and something, 350 or something like that. But no one is really even close to that record. And by the way, for those who don't know, Cy Young's first name was Denton. 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 His original nickname was Cyclone. Then they just shortened it to Cy. So there you go. And relief pitcher, I went with Goose Gossage. Growing up, he was a dominant player. He had that big Fu Manchu, just intimidating people. So I went with that. And let's see, who else did I have on my pitchers? Let's see, Leroy Satchel Paige. To me, it's an absolute shame that man didn't get to play in the major leagues because of race back in the day. It's a shame. He was so good. I think I remember hearing when he made his major league debut because of segregation back in the 30s and 40s, 20s, 30s, 40s. And he, in my mind, I think he was in his mid to upper 40s when he made his major league debut. And that's just sickening to me to this day. But that's another player I had on my list. I already mentioned Louisiana Lightning and Nolan Ryan. And my last position, I have utility. I'm going with Charlie Hustle Pete Rose, who to me still should be in the Hall of Fame. I know he gambled on baseball, but I look at what he did on the field, still Hall of Fame to me. And I know a lot of people disagree with that. But Charlie Hustle, man, he was an all-star at 5 positions. That's insane. I mean, people to make all-star at one position is great. Five positions, that's insane. You can't do that. Let's see. I want to say it was first, second, third, and two outfield positions. Who could do that? It's just impossible to do, and he did it. So that's my list. I would love to hear you guys tag some people that might want to do this as well, because this is a list that I think is just fun to do. And let me know what you guys think about my list and some of the people that I missed, because there's a ton of people that I missed with great nicknames. And if there are any really great nicknames for players today, because it just feels like that art of giving a good nickname is kind of gone now. And I really hate that, because I love good nicknames. But anyway, that's my list, my all nickname list of players. Let me know what you guys think, and you guys have an incredible day.